Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead here because Brendan talks about podcasting.
Podcast game who's making money, like, oh, I'm going to do that too. But now you're doing it now, and you're especially with your fan base, they're on this journey with you. It was the smartest thing I ever did, man.
Yeah, we did. I think we started it a little over a year ago, and we were consistent with it. So we have a good amount of old podcasts that people can go listen to because everyone's typing in Sugar on YouTube, Sugar on Google.
Yeah.
And it's popping up. So they have
Oh, yeah, and then it pulls up that Baby Bash song, and the people get confused, and then they don't find you.
They can go and look up and kind of get to know who I am. Because when you're doing a podcast, and I have however many episodes, we have 80-something podcasts, like, that's a lot of hours that those guys are getting to know me. When I'm on the podcast, I'm just being my true self. That's not being
real Sugar.
Yeah, I'm just being stupid.
Who's this Sugar guy? Are we supposed to know him?
I don't know.
Can someone explain what's up with this guy?
I don't know. I wore his hair once to a football game. I remember that.
Spitting and saying shit. And so I feel like they get to know me, and I think that helps me connect with my fans a lot.
That's the best thing you can do, but it's not for everyone. You see a lot of knuckleheads do it, and podcasting, it's not that easy.
Right.
Anybody.
A lot of knuckleheads do it. Podcasting is not for everyone. Apparently, that guy's a UFC fighter, I guess.
Can do it, but to make a good podcast and actually make one that people are going to tune into is not easy. But so I think for especially a guy like you who's, you speak well, you're a smart dude, you got a lot going on, your career's booming, for people to be able to tune in and see the real you on a podcast is priceless, dude. And then when you're done, what you're doing is you're basically investing in yourself. Because when you're, let's say you fight for 10 years, you've had this podcast.
Let me tell you something. Investing in yourself. Brendan, and I don't mean to be mean, but investing in yourself is like investing in Enron. I wouldn't fucking recommend it.
Podcast for 10 years and you're only getting bigger, that podcast is going to be one of the biggest in the world. When you retire, you don't have to do shit.
Yeah.
All you got to do is talk on that podcast.
Dude, that's the thing, and it's nice that it's...
I like you said it's not for everybody and nobody could do it, but then he just finished saying all you got to do is talk on that podcast.
I don't feel like I do anything that I don't want to do. Like, I'm jacked to go do a podcast.
Jim Edward, when audio...
If we get an hour every week or whatever it is, sometimes we'll do solo podcasts for our Patreon and stuff, and we'll do a little bit more. But I'm usually jacked to go to that podcast. Like, I was jacked to come here. I was jacked to go to Theo's yesterday. Like, doing this stuff is so fun. So it doesn't even feel like if I wasn't making money, I'm like, probably still would do it. It's still fucking fun.
Yeah, I never started because I want to make money.
Yeah,
I just do it because I love doing it.
Yeah.
You absolutely started it because you want to make money. Let's not fucking pretend.
It's fun to talk to my buddies.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the color and the hair and all that shit come from?
I wanted it. We talked about doing it. I think it was for my debut. I'm like, let's do it. I was a little nervous to do it. I'm like, I want people to know I got skill and
you don't want it to be a
establish
distraction.
it. I want to establish I got real skills and I'm good. That I'm not a joke.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy. About 10 days before the fight.
So do you want to hear this guy on his show talk about this appearance? This Sugar guy, you want to hear what he said on his show?
Yeah.
Okay, let's check it out. Apparently this is his podcast. Apparently he's doing it from the set of Breaking 2. So that explains the background. Here you go.
Yeah, for sure. But seeing that whole setup and just seeing the behind the scenes, they have full fucking teams doing all their stuff.
So he's talking about Fighter and the Kid. I guess they're on the Fighter and the Kid. He wasn't Fighter and the Kid.
Dude, fuck yeah. They have people editing small clips to post on their Instagrams and their YouTubes, like the clips.
Yeah.
That's
See, I
something
wonder
we
who
need to
does that
step
for
up.
Joe Rogan.
Oh, yeah, I wonder. Because young Jamie probably doesn't.
God, I hate L.A.
Why? Because they're pretty cool.
Oh, it's like cutting up clips. It's like, dude, like, how do you do that, man? Oh, no, dude, it's so gnarly. Fuck L.A.
Because they're literally a two-person team, Jamie and Joe, I wonder.
Yeah, that's a good question. I wonder. No, there's got to be people that clip, though. There's no way.
Yeah.
Jamie listens to all of that over and over and finds. Unless he's like, oh, this was good, clips random little things, and then.
But, okay, I'm sorry.
They're acting like it's Royce, it's a fucking mystery. How do you clip shows?
Okay, first off, Mike and I, obviously, you could tell by, look at the quality here. We don't have a fucking producer. Like, we don't have any of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, for Christ's sakes, half of our audience is bots.
I know.
We're
so
running a very small operation here.
This is a small operation. But we don't have a producer. We don't have any of that stuff. I don't have to. I clip everything myself. After the show, I have to sit here for another fucking hour and a half clipping stuff. And look, people help me out. Like, shout out to Bali Song. Bali Song's my boy. He helps me make the thumbnails. That's where the new thumbnails look good. But for the most part, hey, someone's just sitting there and they're like listening. Yeah, dude. Like what you do is after the show, I'll talk to Mike. I'll be like, hey man, what are some good segments you think would be fun to clip? I don't know, like this segment. Then I'll go find it on the show and then I'll clip it and then I'll put it up on YouTube. It doesn't take a team of people to do it, right? It doesn't take a team of people to fucking do it.
They must have like, what do you think? Like 12 people working on like clipping stuff, or like how does that work, dude? You gotta go through that whole 2-hour thing. It's like, whoa.
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm gonna call Joe.
Brandon was a big motherfucker, wasn't he?
Yeah, Brendan was a big dude. He was a big dude. The fight that was pretty good. That went good. The food wasn't that good.
It
Actually,
tastes like
I would
shit.
say I would go as far as saying it sucked.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it wasn't good.
It was Mediterranean. What did
So wait. It wasn't the food wasn't good, or the whole experience wasn't good.
Like,
I would go as far as saying it sucked.
I hate the way this guy talks. I
It's,
I hate him.
I backed up a little bit.
I hate him. I hate rainbow hair guy. I hate white Tekashi 6ix9ine. I hate this man's guts.
Fight that was pretty good. That went good. The
That went
food
well.
Wasn't that good.
People watch this.
Actually,
tastes like
I would
shit.
say I would go as far as saying it sucked.
The food wasn't
Yeah,
good.
for sure.
Like it wasn't good.
It was Mediterranean. What did you get?
Meta-shit-ranian.
What did you get for food truck?
It is like, you know what this sounds like? Because I haven't smoked weed in a while. I really haven't smoked weed in quite a while. If I went out and I met up like in Tampa with an old friend of mine, and he hadn't smoked weed in a while, and we got like retarded high. I mean like fucking dabs. Not having smoked weed in months, ripping giant dabs, and then tried to catch up. That's what it sounded like. Yeah, it's like food was like, you know, suck, man. They're so fucking. It's this stoner LA vocal fry. They're not having an interesting.
But he's also a UFC fighter. On top of all that,
yeah, it sucks. Getting punched in the face, dude.
you know what I was thinking? Like UFC wasn't really around when we were younger, but can you imagine like when we were younger if podcasts and stuff was around and like every football star that we liked had their own podcast, how bad it would be for their image? Like, remember Barry Sanders had
Hey,
a
man.
fucking podcast?
You remember going on that show and they had a food truck, and then you went and saw in the Magic Little Man come out, and if you finance, you'll get $500 rebate. And you'll score a touchdown. Like, there's just all the brain damage and shit. Like, that's what I feel like I'm watching.
Like back then when there was a bunch of, you know, when there was a bunch of all these all-stars in football. I just use football as an example. It could be any sport, right? If you were good enough to like talk and do stuff, you would back then you would get like an ESPN gig or an NBC gig. Like, don't get me wrong, there were some that came out of that are still broadcasters today that are really good. Like Tony Romo's one that blew everybody's mind. Like Tony Romo's one was like, wow, this guy's fucking really good at what he does. Fuck, he can't win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he went right into. Yeah, there's certain guys that just went right into
Right.
it.
But
Peyton was another guy.
Yeah.
Peyton's not fun to look at, but he can talk.
But can you imagine like just fucking having some of these morons back then? Just if everybody had a show, that's what this is. Like,
These
what
guys
is
all
this?
sound like Muhammad Ali, but at the end. When he had all the brain damage.
Yeah. Barry Sanders was really stupid, but he was fun to watch. No, that's my point. I think that would ruin a lot of their legacies. Like, that's my point. Like, some of these players, like, you know, I'm just using football, but some of these players were fucking just, you know, amazing. We're legends, Hall of Famers. You'd watch them and you would go, this guy is fuck, can't believe what he's doing. Look how good they are. But then if they had a weekly show, can you fucking imagine how you would go, oh my God, this guy's a fucking retard.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's why back then it was just like if you were a sports guy, right after the fight, right after the football game, you just do the typical, like, you know, I want to thank the team, I want to thank God.
Yeah.
the typical.
Thank my mama.
Yeah.
Thank my grandmama. Yeah, but and also look, this guy could be a good fighter. I don't know.
Apparently, he's an upcomer. They're saying.
Okay, it could be a good fighter. Nobody's shitting on his fighting skills, but this man is fucking painful to listen to speak. And I think that's the point Royce was making. Some of the guys he was naming were great football players, but brain damaged beyond repair and couldn't string 4 words together without losing their train of thought. And that's horrible to listen to. Some of the guys that ended up being good broadcasters weren't really the best players or at any sport. They were just guys that you put them in a booth and then they could talk football like brilliantly. And you go, oh, all right, well, this guy's got a gig. Who was the other one? You said Romo.
Aikman.
I said, yeah, even Peyton Manning. Like when they would talk to Peyton Manning, he could be like, well, if they don't run the ball, they're going to have to do something and they're really going to have to think on their feet here because, the coaching staff's really come up short this year. Like he can talk and you go, wow, he made points and then
Look,
left.
I don't like Michael Strahan, but in terms of he could talk and he does a show
he does a non-football
he does
show
a
now.
non-football
Yeah.
show, so he can. Fartwell Cluggins goes, y'all watch O'Malley highlights and y'all shut up. Nobody's saying he's not good. He could be the point is not.
We're not saying he's a bad fighter.
Maybe he's one of the best fighters in the world.
I'll go out and say it because I don't care about UFC. He is the greatest fighter to ever put on a pair of gloves. How about that? Fine. Objectively great. We're talking about his, man, the food was...
If I go in the UFC, I would... If I go in the UFC, I would be murdered immediately. Like, I wouldn't forget any MMA. Fucking, I would be murdered immediately. There's no question. And then if I get murdered immediately, people talking shit like, why is this fat ass fighting? What the fuck's going on? Someone go, yeah, but you should watch the highlights of his show. You'll shut the fuck up. I'll be like, what? Wait, what? No, that doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah, and it's a reason why Brain Dead Shab and this Brain Dead guy, again, could be a good fighter, but listening to them talk about food wasn't that interesting as opposed to look at, let's say, Guy Fieri. I'm sure Guy Fieri, if he stepped in a ring with this guy, would probably die. They'd probably have to fucking scrape his body off the ground.
Yeah.
But put Guy Fieri in front of a fucking camera, put a lapel mic on him and go, discuss these ribs. And he will talk for an hour about ribs and make you passionate about the ribs.
Yeah.
Like, he's the best at it.
So yeah, I'm not saying that they're not. You could be the best in the world at what he does. That's why the Barry Sanders example is a great example. Barry Sanders, watch a Barry Sanders interview. Watch an interview though. The guy couldn't speak, and that's fine. But watch his highlights. That guy was one of the best running. I'll say probably the best running back that ever played football. But would you want to watch a podcast with him?
Dude, it would suck.
I don't even remember. I was like, can I get that and that and then that? And they're like, sure.
Well, the guy came to me. He's like, "Hey, man, just get whatever it's for the set and the whole crew." And I saw loaded fries. I was like, "Fuck!" So me and Jesus were pecking at those fries, but dude, fries fuck me up because of the oil.
Well, yeah,
and all the shit.
Probably the quality. Yeah, it's probably not. It was decent. Is what I would say.
What?
Did you talk to any chicks?
I hate this conversation. I fucking hate this I'm getting really angry.
What's the name
and
of the
I'm
show?
even angrier because I can't beat this guy up. So I'm even angrier, Royce.
What's the name of this show?
The retard and the other retard.
Tell me the name of this podcast, please. This is on the Fighter and the Kid Reddit. Tell me the name of this podcast, please, because I have a feeling we should watch some more of these. I have a
bro. It's like, and I was like loaded fries, dude. And bro, did you try loaded fries, man? Bro, they were so loaded. It was so gnarly, dude.
No, seriously, it's not called the CTE Live podcast.
It really is.
It's not. What's the name of it for real?
It would be so funny if they did this show with the orange, the rainbow hair guy and Brendan Schaub did a show together, and while they did the show, they had the little suction cups all over their heads, and you could watch their brain activity while they talked. That would be a fun show. No, you just watch their CT scan live while they're talking, and just be like, like the loaded fries, man, and like there's just a dim little yellows and reds lighting up in little areas next to a bunch of holes.
Because honestly,
oh, dude, fucking loaded fries, man. Oh,
Sean O'Malley, I found it.
It's so bad.
The Timbo Sugar Show. The Timbo. Oh, God! By the way,
LA needs to be fucking nuked.
can I say something? I'm going to say it right now. Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen just sent a thank you letter to Sean O'Malley right now because I don't even care about fucking Fighter and the Kid anymore.
Schaub sounds like fucking
Yeah.
what was his name? Dick. He sounds like Richard Burton compared to this fucking Shane O'Malley guy or Sean O'Malley. or
Now
whatever.
this you could tell. I just pulled this up from the latest episode. I'm just gonna pick a random time spot. This isn't me. I'm not cherry picking anything. I'm just gonna go in the middle. I'm going to 12 minutes.
Chicks, $500 an hour.
I'd
Hot
have
as
to
fuck.
be balling. I'd have to be balling just because I don't last unless I'm doing my kegels.
But dude, honestly, I'm not saying that I'm going to next time.
But like,
But like if I come up empty-handed,
I came
No,
home.
it's illegal. It's
yeah,
illegal.
when we came home, told our girls, it's like, okay, people would look at us, oh man, those guys can get
They got
girls.
pussy, they're
No, those guys
fighters.
can get girls for
Nah,
sure.
we can't.
It's like, dude, no,
I never thought that I would see a show with two dumber people than the Fighter and the Kid. Would you agree with that?
Can I describe it in another way?
Please do.
If I had 3 minutes to convince President Trump to drop white phosphorus on Los Angeles, I would fuck the riots, fuck the immigrant. I would show him this clip.
This is, I cannot believe that they've first off, I blame the fans because there's been 89 of these and none of you decided, hey, you guys need to see this? None of you?
Yeah, seriously, you guys really dropped the ball here.
Okay.
How has nobody brought this to us?
Can somebody please explain to me?
I'm like, not like angry, but I'm like, what's the word for like when someone does something that's like not up to your expectations and then you feel sad about it?
Disappointed?
Oh, that's a good word, dude. What was that one?
Now, I know as soon as we make fun of these guys, it's gonna happen. Brandon, these guys will kick your ass. And we know they'd murder us. They'd fucking kill us. We get it.
Yeah.
They'd beat our asses. They'd knock us into a pulp. I get it. I fucking get it.
Yeah, if this guy said, I challenge you right now, I'd go, joke contest, right? We're not fighting, right? I want to make that perfectly clear.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick another random timestamp. Okay.
brown belt, I think. So his jiu-jitsu is like solid.
Yeah.
But you can tell he's not really developed yet. And he was saying, I wanted to even talk to him about it, but I didn't get a chance because he's leaving. He's like, I need to go to Thailand for a couple months or something. I was trying to think if Thailand would be the right spot for him.
I feel like that might not be.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, he's so durable.
See, the problem, though, dude, it's like everyone's going to start, like, saying that, like, what's the word for when, like, people are, like, saying stuff about you without any evidence? Spectacle. If people would start spectacling.
Nah, dude, I think it's called monocle.
That we would be like banging like 9-year-old lady boys, dude. And I don't need people to know I bang 9-year-old lady boys.
Or
we have to
send us
call-
a pic. We'll keep you anonymous. Send us a pic of the nastiest chick you've hooked up with.
Wait, hold on a second. What are they asking for?
Also, sorry.
I'm backing up.
Top Lobster had to correct me, and a lot of people are correcting me. They're not in LA. They live in Arizona. And now all I can think about is Trump loading up planes with white phosphorus and going, nobody tell him. Just let him drop it on LA anyway. We'll figure out the Arizona problem. Shut up. Don't tell him.
Things are going to happen, and
Yeah.
maybe even with Showtime or whatever, it's going to be
I think if we
pretty
just keep being goofy fuckers and say we just keep doing what we do, it will happen.
Dude,
So they're talking about getting picked up by Showtime. That's what they're saying. They want their show to get picked up there.
I feel like some girl you're fucking and was like, goes, oh, I could get you weed. We just have to stop by my friend's house. Does this not feel like that that situation when you're like fucking a chick and she goes, "Oh, I totally know a guy. He sells the best weed. We'll just go over there. We'll go to his house." And he's like, "Hey, you want to like hang out for a little bit?" And you're like, "I really should go." And then you got to sit here and it's just like,
I want to just finish part before we go. Just parts
Sorry.
of
And even
okay.
if we don't, we continue to fucking chick chat on the mics. Okay.
Mm-hmm. If we get 50 views, I'm still chatting.
If we get 5 views, I'm still chatting.
You know what we're thinking about doing too is a separate segment.
Ooh, Jobin talk. That'd be good.
A separate segment, Jobin Talk, where the Jobins or anyone on the Patreon, or we could open it up to anyone, send fan video questions, fan video drama, or some
Ooh, give me
relationship
some drama.
relationship drama.
I was thinking people should tune in and say, "Hey Timbo, Sugar Show, I'm cheating on my girl, and I don't know how to tell her," or something.
Oh yeah.
That'd be crazy shit. Let's get some drama.
Or the
Or we have to
send us a
call.
pic. We'll keep you anonymous. Send us a pic of the nastiest chick you've hooked up with,
Ooh.
and then we'll talk about if we would do it in certain situations. I wouldn't because my standards are high.
Well, no, because we couldn't post those chicks on.
Does that mean?
Yeah, we shouldn't do that one.
Okay.
Is that mean? Just post a picture of a girl and talk about how ugly she is?
I would never do that. I would talk about her good attributes.
again, I feel like I'm sitting on a couch. No, I take that back. I feel like I'm sitting on a beanbag chair, waiting for somebody to weigh out my bag of weed. And nobody ever breaks a scale out. And I'm like, can I just go? You can even rip me off. It's fine. I'll just take whatever you're willing to give me for $50.
I honestly believe.
Can I just get the weed and go, please?
I honestly believe that the fighter and the kid helped these guys set up the show and talked them into doing it
Brandon would seem smart.
to take the heat off of them. And I mean that. I really believe that that's what they did. Now, look, I get it. Look, I'm going to say it again. They would kick our ass. But I don't want to hear it because that's what you always hear. We know.
Yeah, dude. What's the word for like when somebody does that? Like Machiavelli or something? Like Tupac invented that word? Brendan is so smart, dude. Brendan is a fucking genius. This is amazing. I love these guys.